Chelsey, we're all talking about rubbing our boobs, getting our lymphatic moving. Just wanted to let you know that, like, we're still talking about you in Tassie, and we're learning more. And whenever you want to come down. So yeah, we're here.
3 weeks later.
3 weeks.
Yeah, she moves fast, which is why,
Yeah.
This is why you're so amazing.
I began first rubbing these boobies
8 years ago.
8 years ago. Yeah. Up in Brizzy, where Sean and Carissa had their F45 gym, and I would go and work out. And the building of community that you both did, we would have dinners. I would speak when you did challenges about the different things that you can do to support, because it's not just about the food that you put in your mouth and the exercise that you're doing, it's about the other things as well. And just the community that you put together. And then of course, we're besties. And now you've come down here and creating this and, helping men and women realise that they can feel better, and normal isn't here. We don't want to be normal here. We want to be normal here. All right, Scott, are we ready?
Thanks, Chelsey. Thank you, everybody.
So a little bit of housekeeping. We've got our recovery zone happening over here. So when the ladies finish on the two Adrianas, I'll spin you around, babe, but finish on the compression, come over and have a go if you like. So we're using the pneumatic compression to help boost and move your lymph. It's really relaxing, helps reduce stress. You might have seen it a lot in exercise recovery, but there's no reason why everyday people can't use the compression. So I'll be talking about that in my talk. But for starters, I'd love to introduce Scott. He's from Grasses of Life. He is a naturopath, the same as me. He uses a lot bigger words than me. I've just decided to rub boobs for a living. He's like, oh, the pathway of this goes into this and goes to this. And I'm like nodding, but I really don't understand what he's talking about. So we're going to talk about detoxification, why we need to detoxify, how to identify what are toxins and what the role of your body is. And then after that, I'm going to run you through my lymphatic sequence, talk to you about why it's super important, answer any questions, every question that you have as well. I know we have ladies in the room with lymphedema and lipedema, so I'd like to talk a little bit about that too. But yeah, just encouraging you to look after yourself and your body and bring the normal back up to here. Yes? Yeah. Yes. Okay, amazing. Are we ready? No. Okay. So the other thing that I'll let you know is we do have about 16 boxes. Who has my gloves? Woohoo! For those of you who don't have my gloves, you can buy some tonight. All right. So Carissa has we've got them here. I think there's about 16 pairs of gloves. So they are $42.50 each for the set. So you get 2 gloves in the box. Who is a member of Boob Camp? Got some boob campers? Boob Camp. Boobies. So we've got 17,000 women in our Boob Camp community, which is so super duper. I never thought that when we first started that this would even happen. And the support that other women bring to that group is great. We've got lots of other therapists, lots of other natural health therapists in the group. So any question that you have, every time somebody will put something in the group and say, oh, my skin is now feeling so much better, my psoriasis has gone, my sinuses have been bad for 10 years and now they've cleared up. Have you listened to who's in Boob Camp? If you've read some of those things? Like, it blows my mind every day with the sharing what happens when we can get rid of all of the crap in our body. And it's really hard to, because we know of all the different, any other tin hats in here? A row of tin hats at the back, love it. Big tin hat over there, yes. It is hard when the food that we eat is sprayed. Why is organic food in the shops covered in plastic? Do you know why? Because at night, when everyone's gone, they spray for vermin all through the shopping centre, all through the fruit and veg. But don't worry, then they spray it to make it look shiny afterwards too. So the organic food has to be covered in plastic so the nighttime chemicals don't go on the organic food. So we don't see a lot that's happening with our food system, the same as our water system. I can't drink tap water. I find it hard to shower or bath in something that's not filtered. Anybody feel the same? Can't drink tap water? Yep. Are we good?
Well, we're going to improvise.
We're going to improvise. Okay. We can do that.
Only here, sorry.
Yes.
For quality, I will only ever offer filtered water to my members.
Yes. Yep, only filtered water. So we're going to learn, Scott's going to talk to us all the reasons why. So have you got your mic on?
Death by PowerPoint happening and this is not going to work.
Okay.
It's the most boring talk you've ever heard.
No, it's not. I was just going to offer. I could
You can do it like that, but not like that. I've got a mic. So I used to work for a health retreat in Queensland. It focused on weight loss and detoxification. And the guy who owned that health retreat happened to be the best mate of Barbara O'Neill's wife, Michael, husband. So we're in Tasmania because we're going to have dinner with Barbara tomorrow night. And then Barbara's going to interview me about castor oil, because I actually import castor oil from India. But that's not why I brought castor oil. My whole business model has been about, I'm going to put it here anyway. It should flip.
Okay.
No. So my whole business model has been about detoxification. I got very, very sick in my 20s because the doctor said to me, "You need this drug." And I, okay. Hello. Because I didn't want to stop drinking scotch, did I? And I wanted to keep eating my white pasta with my sauce poured on top out of the jar and just stir it through, right? Because I can't cook for shit. And the biggest thing I took away from that was a pill would fix it. And then I loved scotch back in the day. This is going back a while. And I learnt that if I just ate food before I ate the scotch, I didn't get the pain in the stomach because the food would coat the ulcer I had at 27 years of age. So I'm 55 now. It's a long time ago. I don't drink, don't smoke, don't do anything fun anymore except do PowerPoint presentations. But one of the things that I learned about our understanding of toxicity, maybe I can put a box up, make it higher. Sorry? All right. Is that reasonable now? All right. And one of the things I learned about toxicity is that we don't know where our toxins are coming from. Most people go, "Oh, if I told you you had heavy metals in your body, do you know where they're coming from?" Because that's the first question I get whenever I test someone from heavy metals and they see their levels are spiking. They go, "Oh, where did I get that from?" The first and primary route of exposure is food first, inhalation second, and then contact third. So who likes to wear their Lorna Janes on their advertising, moving around? You're wearing plastic. Plastic fibres, which are endocrine disruptors, which are plastics that are leaching into your system. But when we understand what toxins versus toxicants are, that's the first and foremost I want to share with you tonight. A toxicant is plant-based, animal-based, bacteria-based poisoning. Shellfish, bacteria that on food, animals that produce or secretions that are toxic. But toxicants are these wonderful compounds that we as human beings have created to do all these marvellous things in our industrialised world that absolutely are screwing with us. Screwing with our hormones, displacing our minerals, messing with the biome in our guts, damaging many, many aspects of our human biology. And they're doing it subtly and slowly. And the older we get, I'm going to not do all the details tonight, the more stuff we run into. So I just want to do a brief thing on the gut. Everybody knows that your gut is miles and miles of, not miles, but about the size of a tennis court in terms of surface area. So which means that we absorb food, which is the most important part of our nutrition. But what I want to share with you tonight, digestion is also the most energy sapping thing that you can ever do. If you're having a big meal before you go to bed, your body is going to be digesting that meal instead of resting. So we want to start to change things around. That's just a quick side note. But back to toxins, I don't know if anyone can see that gut lining there. That's called a villi or a microvilli. The little finger-like projections that come out of your gut. And when we have the wrong kind of foods, called alcohol, we have foods that contain preservatives, we have foods that contain chemicals, these little things shrink and damage and reduces our ability to absorb nutrition. You might know it as celiac disease. You might know it as ulcerative colitis, inflammatory bowel disease. You might know it as, oh, I've just always got diarrhea, IBS. I've always got irritation. So we want to start looking at our food chain, our food supply, so that we understand how our gut health is being totally screwed up by what we're doing. And the biggest myths about detoxification, it's not some 14-day lemon juice thing that you do and you're going to put on Facebook, tell all the colleagues at work, I'm doing a detox, but I'm going to eat shit as soon as I'm finished. Because I guarantee you that's what I used to do. I used to go down to Brumby's Bakery. I don't know if they have that around here. There's a chain in Queensland where I'm from. And I'd get a whole loaf about this size. It was filled with apple and whatever else they could put in it. And then they put icing over the top of that and they'd make it nice and crunchy. And my house was only 2 doors away from the bakery. I'd run down. My wife didn't know I was out of the house. I'd eat the whole thing, run back home, sit back at my computer and she wouldn't know that I'd eaten it. And the other one I used to do, I don't eat this stuff anymore. I go to get the Tim Tams out of the cupboard. I'd eat the whole packet, run to the corner store, run back, put the Tim Tams back in the cupboard so she'd never know that I'd smashed it. So that was just an example of the processed food, alcohol and things that I was doing, which was I was self-poisoning or intoxicating my body, making my body sick. So the thing about our detoxification systems, they never stop working, they just get stressed. You've heard of fatty liver disease? So fatty liver disease used to be associated with alcoholism, but in our modern world now it's associated with diet, sugar, pasta. So your body produces insulin. If your body produces too much insulin to deal with the sugars, to deal with too much scrolling's been shown to cause insulin secretions. Blue light's been shown to show insulin secretions. Insulin's smashing out your liver's door. The liver goes, what am I going to do with this? I'm going to stick some fat here, I'm going to stick some fat here, I'm going to stick some fat here. And we have this fat accumulation. We have this burden liver, which has become fatty, which means it's becoming scarred. It means it's reducing its function. It's reducing its ability to detoxify. So we actually have to start taking some action against what we're doing. It's so important that Chelsey has to share tonight, and lymphatic cleansing. Your lymph system is one of the most important little things that you can do to cleanse. Just by, as Chelsey said, what's your catchphrase? Rub your boobs? She's better at this than me. I don't go there.
Start at the boobs, baby.
There you go. And she's going to show you how to do that tonight, but that's not my bag. So common classes of compounds, there are many. Who's got a computer and a smartphone at home? So do you know they have flame retardant chemicals in these things, which, and who's got those winter jammies that says keep away from a naked flame? Have you ever read the label on the care instructions? You've got your little flannies on and you go, oh, I better not smoke in this because they're going to go up. So they contain chemical compounds called brominated flame retardants. And brominated flame retardants are the same class of compounds as a banned substance from the 1970s. You might know it as DDT. And DDT was a very nasty chemical used in agriculture. They came out of World War II World War I actually, when they were spraying the soldiers in the trenches because they were covered in lice fighting in trench warfare. They used to spray them up and down. Then they worked out it was good for killing bugs on fields. But the one problem with DDT was it built up in the fat cells of mammals. So we can still find DDT in people. It's been banned 40 years. We can still find it in fat cells of mammals today, young kids too, not just us mature people, but it's still present. And it's a big, big endocrine disruptor. And where do we like to use these things? Right on our privates. We like to sit them on our laps. So, again, we've got lots of compounds. And this is my favourite one. Everyone knows glyphosate. Does anyone not know glyphosate? Does everyone know Roundup? So what does Roundup do? All of that, yeah. So Roundup is this really, really nasty chemical used in agriculture to kill the biome in the soil. So it's actually patented as an antibiotic, one. Two, it binds the minerals and the nutrients in the soil so the plant can't feed. If we're not eating organic food covered in this stuff, what do you think it's doing to us? Damaging your gut and binding up your minerals so you can't use them. So it is nasty, nasty stuff. There's a MIT researcher out of the United States called Dr. Stephanie Seneff, and she's one of the world's leading experts on this stuff and not going near it. It's more dangerous in parts per million than it is actually drinking the stuff straight up. You can kill yourself drinking it, but long-term small exposure is more dangerous to the human cells. The reason it got passed as a safe food chemical was because they said plants have this biochemical pathway called a Shikimati pathways, which means that the plants will die. And they go, humans don't have a Shikimati pathway, which means your biochemistry doesn't have the same thing as a plant. But what they didn't count on was, then they didn't think about at the time they got it approved as a food-grade chemical, was that your bacteria in your gut has a Shikimati pathway. So it absolutely decimates your gut biome. It's nasty stuff. So we want to try and wash our food if we don't have organics. We want to try and grow our own food if we can't buy organics, and buy organics where possible and stay away from this stuff. What would be 2 crops that you guys would be aware of that would be covered in the stuff that you might eat regularly? Anyone have any idea? Yeah, 1. The other one's legumes, chickpeas. They spray the crop. If they want to get it to go to seed so they can actually get it to harvest quicker, they get the crop duster, carte blanche, spray the whole field, makes the legumes drop to seed, and then they just pick up the legumes afterwards and they put them in a canning and say, hey, we've got healthy legumes for you. Now, the Australian food industry called FSANZ, Food Standards Australia and New Zealand, did a study on what they would call an average diet. And they went through and looked at all the foods in a diet and said, there's not enough of this stuff in it to be hurt to kill you. I haven't seen them do another study in a long, long time to re-verify the results. And according to Dr. Stephanie Seneff, she's saying there's a growth in autism and a correlation in the use of glyphosate or behavioural disorders. So there's a lot to go with it. Now, with glyphosate, there are things that we can do. I've talked about that. Stay away from it. If you've got a home handyman or yourself who's using it, boom. Do you know what you can do instead of glyphosate? You can buy an essential oil called maritime pine, mix it with water and spray your weeds, and you can do it safely without having to poison your yard with glyphosate Roundup type products. And you can buy it from an online retailer. Just look up maritime pine. I put in here lots of health effects. There's gut health, cancer, immune disruption, nutrient blocking, and it also damages those little finger-like projections in the gut too. So does anyone know what fulvic acid is? Fulvic, not folic acid. Yeah. So fulvic acid is this really cool compound. Like she told you I was nerdy. She wasn't kidding. I'm going to go full nerd. So this stuff is as black inside here, and it's made from a decayed. It's black just from my fingertip. You can pass it around if you want to have a look. It is basically fulvic acid is produced by bacterial degradation of plant matter. So as plant matter decays, it produces fulvic acid through bacterial interaction. For our human bodies, guess what? Fulvic acid increases our nutrient absorption, but it also assists with us detoxifying Roundup and other chemicals out of our body. So it's brand new science. Dr. Stephanie, I follow her work, I love her work. I'll tell you what, if you're going to listen to Dr. Stephanie Seneff's work, have 4 coffees at least. She's so technical, so dead boring. She's interesting, but the science that she talked about just is a real head F, and I struggle with it at times myself. So what we want to do is we want to put minerals back in our diet, because the foods that the chemicals are blocking our minerals. This is a mineral complex. It comes out of Austria, and it's been used for hundreds of years to people to bathe in it. They drink it. They put it on wounds. They put it on their feet for detoxification. This is all you go to an alpine retreat in Austria, and they'll slap you in a bath full of the stuff, and then you can drink it as well. Am I going too fast? Everyone Interested in where we're going? Got a couple more compounds. So this is my favourite topic, POPs, persistent organic pollutants. You might know them as forever chemicals. So these are your latex workout pants. This is your plastic water bottle, and this is your laptop, your TV screen, your winter jammies. Anyone got little kids or grandkids at home? Sorry? Yeah, cooking pants. So we're on carpets and we're moving around. We don't notice it, but little kids, they're right here. And they're sucking in these fabrics and these chemicals. So if you've got little children at home and you've got carpets which you know that are made from plastics, we really want to make sure that we vacuum regularly and keep our floors well maintained. Especially if you've got carpets and polished floors or carpets and tiles where you see the we got a Labrador. Has anyone got a Labrador? Have you got tumbleweeds through your house? Like Labrador fur balls that just roll out one door. Oh my gosh, there's like Labrador hair everywhere. Cannot get rid of it. So anyway, that just tells me that we need to keep our floor maintenance up just by watching, see where the dog hair blows with the wind, because I can track it. So persistent organic pollutants, some food colorings. So they might use brominated. So we talked about brominated flame retardants, but they use brominated chemicals in drinks. Who likes Fanta? You know, those orange stained drinks, that makes your mouth orange, makes your internal organs orange, makes everything orange. So we want to watch what we're drinking so that we're not getting any of these forever chemicals. Now, the biggest problem with these forever chemicals is we come back to our hormones, endocrine disruptors. As we get older, we've had longer to collect shit, right? The longer you've aged, the more chance you've had to store things. So when a woman is estrogen dominant, well, she's not dominant, she's still producing estrogen from her cycle. When a woman goes into menopause, that estrogen, that protective effect on the bones changes. So what was stored in the bones and the organs is now going, oh, we're going to have a look around. It leaves, can mobilise out of the bones and start to cause more pressure. So you've got these chemical compounds coming in from our environmental exposures, but we're also storehousing them in our body fat. So your white adipose tissue, or your white fat, which is your cuddle zone, is storing this stuff, plus it's leaving your body. So as you get to a certain point in life, you should be detoxing every single day. You should be putting minerals in. You should be I don't know if this is possible in Tasmania, but heading into the ocean. Is it cold? I don't know how cold it is down in the ocean here. Is it?
I don't
Sorry?
think it's thermometer with me.
Did you feel it? Did you? How long?
Doing it every week for I don't know, 6 weeks.
So you're like doing that whole
It's probably
Wim.
like 60 seconds.
You're Wim Hofing in a way.
I don't know how cold it is, but it's very cold.
I give you credit for that.
I was the person that didn't go swimming here in summer when it was 40 degrees.
Oh wow,
So this is a big thing.
that's huge. Congratulations.
Join me anyway.
So we want to make sure that we're looking at all things in our environments. Is anyone still smoking in this room? I hope not. You don't have to put your hand up, but is anyone an ex-smoker? Is anyone an ex-passive smoker? I used to be a chain passive smoker because when I was a little youngster and I had my Vanilla Ice haircut and my MC Hammer baggy pants and I was doing my moves, I used to be at the clubs 3-4 nights a week. And back when I was a boy, always wanted to say that, and you probably know it on planes and trains and offices, smoke was everywhere. The single biggest chemical found in cigarette smoke is one called cadmium. Has everyone heard of cadmium? Cadmium nickel batteries, cadmium ion batteries. So cadmium is a really insidious heavy metal. It is probably, in terms of women's health, probably a number one enemy number one. And it has this really, really shitty nature that it takes 30 years for it to reduce by half. It's found in cigarette smoke, it's found in plastics, it's found particularly in certain agrochemicals, fertilisers. The Australian government found a problem with peanuts many, many years ago. They actually created an Australian standard of how to grow peanuts because the peanuts were so aggressively pulling cadmium out of the soils and these fertiliser chemicals that the peanuts were actually high in cadmium. So they weren't a suitable food anymore. So peanut growers changed the species of peanuts so that the cadmium wasn't being pulled out. Now, you've all heard of spirulina, right? You know what spirulina likes to eat? Mercury. They throw spirulina and grow it in mercury-infected waterways, infested or contaminated waterways, to clean up the waterways. So if you could put spirulina in your diet, you could put chlorella in your diet. And I'm only suggesting these things based on not knowing your medical history, but if you're on certain medications, please see your health professional, because some of these things can work against your medication. So heavy metals are coming in at us all from all angles. Anyone renovated a house? Did you ever scrape off any old paint? Some lead-based paints that are around. Remember we used to put your car with lead-based fuel? This is going back a while now. So we're exposed to stuff all the time. People go, where do I get it from? So before human beings started using aluminium, we never had any aluminium exposure. So aluminium exposure comes through mining. So they mine bauxite, they extract the bauxite, aluminium from the bauxite ends up in the atmosphere, or the aluminium ends up in the atmosphere, and then we end up with aluminium particulates from the atmosphere ending up in our waterways. Now, I don't know how Tasmania relates to this, but there's parts of where I'm from in Queensland, particularly Mackay and mining rural regions, that are particularly heavy in this stuff. But you guys have traffic, so if you're walking to work or you're around busy intersections, cars do most of their braking at intersections and the exhaust, they're sitting. That's where you're getting your heavy metals from. You're getting it from foods that are grown in regions which are contaminated, or particularly foods that have been grown on farms, the same farm for 50 years, that used to have, before the Australian standard, all the chemicals on the ground. So they're still pulling them out of the soils. This is why we need to add minerals back in. Minerals is your number one thing that I think from modern health. Sleep, stress reduction, no blue screens. How hard is it to not do this anymore? How hard is it to entertain yourself without sitting? I just like to sit on the train and just watch people and they go, what are you looking at, you freaks? Because everyone's doing this. So, I'm not going to talk all about the different metals, but I do want to come back to aluminium and cadmium for 1 second, because I think it's really relevant to understand. They're called metalloestrogens. So they're metals that your body treats as estrogenic. So they are screwing with your hormones. Breast cancer is one which cadmium and aluminium are associated with, but aren't talked about. No one talks about these guys in terms of they're influencing on your hormones. Because what's body fat like to do? Body fat loves estrogens. So if you've got weight that you want to lose, body fat and estrogen go like this. You want to stop the influences of these estrogenic compounds plus any environmental estrogens from coming into your life so that your body can start to work normally, get this stuff out. You can get a hair test, you can get another scan through blood, but I recommend a hair test. It's cheap, it's easier than to blood test, because a blood test is typically done after exposure. You can get chemical analysis tests called urinary organics acids profile, whereby you can do a urine sample and they'll test you for a ton of chemicals, and including heavy metals, including what your gut health's doing, and you can really get a good analysis of what you're doing. So you can probably talk to your local naturopath in town if you've got one that you see, or a local health professional, and they can organise one for you. Or Chelsey, you've got a hair test, or you've got a heavy metal test now?
We do the nutritional hair testing. We don't do the heavy metal.
Don't do that one.
Yeah, but yeah, I've got naturopaths in my team who can help too with that.
Yeah. So these are just things that we look out for. I'm not going to go into all of them, but cadmium is the worst one. Mercury, who's got their fillings still in? Yeah. So I've seen mercury poisoning from fillings breaking, snapping. Who's got a root canal? So root canals are pretty nasty things too, because they create secondary infections, and they're actually associated with heart disease. Would you believe it? A root canal and heart disease can go hand in hand. It's quite crazy.
What stops the lymphatic system from working?
All the stuff you just said. Yeah.
Toxins, pharmaceutical drugs, bras. Bras stop the lymphatic system from working. We have 15 litres of lymph in our body when we don't know much about it. We have 5 litres of blood. What pumps our blood? Our breathing, our heart, and our lungs pump our blood around our system, and we need that blood. But what about the 15 litres of lymph that we need to move around our body constantly? If our lymphatic system isn't moving, our hormones aren't moving. And what happens if our hormones aren't moving? We're going to get cranky, we're going to age fast. If we don't have high levels of vitamin D, we can tell you that you aren't going to live very long. Vitamin D is super important and it needs to be transported around your body. Transports fats. The lymphatic system transports fats. It is your immune system. Your T cells, your B cells, all of your immune system is your lymphatic system as well. We don't know about it because what can our doctors do? They cut or they give us drugs. Cutting causes scar tissue, which then causes a big drama for our lymphatic system to try to get through. Pharmaceutical drugs, it's going to stop our lymphatic system from working as well. So how do they make money out of lymph? They don't. They can't. Okay? So I'm here to teach you how to look after your lymphatic system and how to, you brush your teeth every day? Yeah? I'm going to teach you how to brush your body. So we're going to get this stagnant lymph. Your lymph can be blocked for years, decades. You can have a big backup of do you feel your boobs? Everyone feel your boobs? Because I've been massaging. Whose boobs have I massaged tonight? Yeah. And this was, oh, that's sore. Is it supposed to be sore? We don't even touch our breast tissue. So can you feel any lumps and bumps? Is it sore to touch anywhere around your chest? Does it feel claggy? Is there any areas of your body that feels like a sponge that's full of oil? Does it feel claggy, tight? Does it feel like any rocky roads when you drag your fingers over? Does it feel bumpy? Down in Tasmania, everything's full of layers. So this 15 litres of lymph has to drain into your heart first. So if you are wearing a bra, it's going to stop the flow. If you wear the same undies every day, you're going to have a line here, and I can tell if ladies wear the same undies every day because they have this layer of fluid, this layer of fat that sits on the top of their legs here. So change your undies every day. We want to wear boy leg, we want to wear G-string, we want to wear none if we can get away without wearing any at all. So the things, we want to stop our body from being restricted. Scott talked about breathing. If we aren't breathing properly, we are not expanding our lungs and our lymphatic system isn't moving. We sit, we crunch, we're on our phones. Is anything going to flow through our body if we're like this? No. What are the things that are going to help our lymphatic system move? Walking, movement, definitely. Breathing deep. Skipping, jumping, moving, getting the calf muscles working. So then they are pumping this lymph throughout our body all of the time. What does Tarzan do before he saves Jane? Yeah? Because if this area in your chest is blocked, it's like a hose with a kink in it. Is there any point me pushing from my feet and squeezing you like a tube of toothpaste if the lid is still on? No. When you go and have a massage, what are you told to do? Lay down and put your head in the hole? And they start massaging your back first, pushing up, pushing down, or pushing all different ways. Does your head fill of snot? Yes. Do you feel all clogged up? Yes. So what would happen if we started massaging at the chest first and we opened up all of the lymphatic system and then we started pushing the fluid towards it? Would that help? Yeah. So we need to start changing the way that we look at draining our body. If we acted like Tarzan, what about the haka? Has anyone been to China? Have you seen the Chinese walking around hitting? Yeah, right? Hitting their body. You have 300 lymph nodes just in this area. Just in this area and in the top. Your lymph nodes will sit anywhere your body has a join. So around your shoulders, in your elbows, in your wrists, in your knees, in your groin, and down at your ankles. So they are the pickup points. They are the safety zone for your body. So when it picks up pathogens, when it's looking for viruses, it's looking for all different things, toxins that shouldn't be in your body, bringing them to the lymph nodes. What happens if you go and get a scan done or a biopsy done and they find cancer in your lymph nodes? They want to rip them out. Where should the body take the toxins to? The lymph nodes, because the lymph nodes are your body's toilets. Your T cells, your B cells, your immune cells that are there to all cancer is a collection of toxic cells. So if the body takes them to the lymph nodes, isn't the body doing a proper job? Isn't it doing what it's supposed to be doing? But then they're going to rip out those lymph nodes. So then where is the body going to take the cancer to? You've got less toilets in your body. It's just going to take it to the breast. It's just going to take it to another organ. And they're not going to tell you when you remove those lymph nodes that you've got now 1 in 3 chances of getting lymphedema. Lymphedema is when your arm swells up like an elephant trunk. But it's okay, we cured you of cancer. You can walk around for the rest of your life with an arm like an elephant trunk. You're not told anything about it. You're not told that if you simply helped your body and massaged all of those lymph nodes and helped all of the fluid move through, that you could prevent that lymphedema from happening. You could do that. 1 in 3 women will end up with lymphedema. I'm just going to say anything that I say tonight that is controversial, you don't have to agree with me. Okay, so please know that is everyone okay if I just speak my truth? Yes, okay. I would never have a mammogram. I would never have a mammogram. A mammogram increases your chance of cancer by 2% each time. A mammogram uses 44 pounds of pressure to squish your breast tissue. It only takes 22 pounds of pressure to rupture a cancer cell. So it's using double the amount of pressure that it takes to rupture a cell. We have a thing called a thermography. I don't know if you have any here. So you can do a full body scan of your body. Oh, okay. Yes. So you can do a thermography session and it will pick up any hot spots 10 years in advance. Pretty impressive. 10 years in advance. It's worth flying to Queensland and having a session with the people that we use. So thermographies are definitely the go. When it comes to breast health or finding any inflammation that there is going on in your body. Keeping your lymph nodes happy and healthy means we have to stop putting the junk in. So Scott just talked about all the different ways that we put junk into our body. The air that we breathe, the food. What about our thoughts? We can really fuck ourselves up, can't we, with our thoughts? Yeah? Definitely. Who's heard of lipedema? Okay, so lipedema is now 1 in 9 women have lipedema. It's when your body crashes. The fat all crashes together and makes a big mesh, normally around the middle and then down into the legs. It can also be in the arms. And you will see the women who look like they eat KFC every day. Yeah? And that's when you look at them, you go, oh, they must eat KFC every day. You don't know that they probably starve themselves and don't eat much at all. They've been going to the doctors and the doctor's saying, obviously you don't exercise, obviously you eat too much, because of course the doctors don't even know about lipedema, and they don't really know too much about lymphedema as well. So it's really sore to touch. Lipedema we're seeing is connected to, yes, a lot of toxins and metals and different things, but also to a trauma. Most girls, if they're having if they've had some type of trauma at puberty or giving birth, or if they've been sexually abused, or if they've gone through a divorce, going through menopause. So it's a mixture of a change of life stage, a hormonal change of life stage, with a traumatic event that's happened in their life, this perfect crash, and then the body just holds on tight. So most lipedema, lymphedema ladies are also mother hens. They're very empathetic and they take on everybody else's shit too. So there is an emotional connection with what happens to your body that shows on the outside all of the time, but especially with lymphedema and lipedema. There is not one system that works without lymphatic health. And when we're talking about our lymphatic system, we need to clean it out constantly. So if people ask me what I do for a job, I'm a cleaning lady. Cleaning, just like the liver, cleaning all the time. Unfortunately, that's what we have to do. What's the best way for a woman to get rid of toxins out of their body? Fastest way, takes 9 months. She's done it 3 times. Have a baby. Yeah, you pass on all of the bad toxins straight to your baby. Babies are now born with over 300 different heavy metals in their system. Yeah? It's a bit suckful, isn't it? That this is what's happening. I would love this to be taught, I don't even want schools to exist, to tell you the truth. But if we can pass this on to our kids and our grandkids, and if we can start doing it ourselves and just touching our body, helping it move the lymph through. I had no idea that when I created this, however many years ago, that I'd be standing and travelling and talking and lecturing, and now with a multi-million-dollar business, helping women identify the issues that's going on or where their body is stuck, but they can also then improve it themselves. So what I'd like to do is, if you don't have a set of gloves, where did I put my little basket? Okay, Carissa, can you just who hasn't used my gloves before? Haven't? Yeah, so just pass. Adrienne, can you use one of yours in your bag, please? Sweet. Yeah, so pass some around. And if you have used the my gloves before, you can just pretend with your hands. But let's get moving, hey? Come on, everyone, stand up. So if we have, oh my God, these things are heavy. Okay. So if we are going to start massaging our body, and I've just taught you about a little bit about the lymph, where should we start first? Where should we pop the cork? Start at the boobs. It's too cold to take my jumper off. So we're going to start at our boobs. So with that, we're just going to tap, yep, and we're going to make sure that our shoulders are nice and loose. Nice breath in. Okay, all around the area. Now, because we've all got clothes on, we're using the ball side of the glove. So when I made these gloves, we can use the spiky side when we're naked on bare skin, and then we use the rollerball side over top of clothes. So before the shower, we're using the spiky side. Spiky side is important because it helps move our myelinated nerve endings and that stimulate the surface lymph. But we're going to use the ball side to get a little bit deeper. So first of all, we're opening up all around the chest, and then we're going to then drain towards our heart. So we're just using our hands, and see how we're just going in one direction from all underneath our arm, moving across. Yeah, so just use one glove and pass use one and pass it on. I don't need two. Here. So so you can use the ball side, but over top of our lymphatic cream. Our lymphatic cream is full of castor oil. Super important. Okay, so then massaging all underneath your chest. And then we're going to do the elbow to the armpit. So see how I'm draining down, brushing down just like that. That's it. And then the wrist all the way down. So there's no point me going from the wrist if this area isn't clear. Got me? Got me. Good. And then once we've done that one, turn in light bulbs up the top. Okay. So how long you should do it? Great question. Because what happens if you are really congested up in the chest area, there's no point moving on to the rest of the body, is there? So I would want you to spend 2 minutes, 5 minutes just doing your chest, and then the next day, start again, and then just do your chest area, and you'll feel that it's different. Is 2 minutes better than nothing? Yes. And then all the way down, brushing, 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 turning the light bulb. All right. Dr. Perry Nicholson, does anybody follow him on Instagram? Stop Chasing Pain. Amazing man. I did his course. He's like the lymph god of America. He came over, I met him in Melbourne pre-COVID, and he was doing exactly what I was doing. And I was like, wow. The Lymphedema Association won't have anything to do with me. They hate me. The Lipedema Association are now going down that same track. They don't like me because I'm not doing it in a confusing way, because I'm teaching people how to do it, this sequence so simply that they can do it at home, that they don't need to go to a therapist. They want to keep their therapists in work. They need people to get lymphedema and to have lymphatic issues so their therapists have a job. My job, my therapist's job, is to stop the lymphatic system from failing so it does end up congested and tight and causing lymphedema. I don't want people to get lymphedema. I don't want people to have lymphatic issues. I want them to know that they can unblock and move their system themselves. So that's why I go heavy. I'm not like getting in with a knee or like with an elbow. I'm not going to go that heavy. But I'm going to really get in, and I'm going to stimulate, and I'm going to wake this system up and say, get to fucking work, right? Now, right? My poor son. Okay, so working underneath, and then I'm going to push towards it. But we are working with the myelinated nerve endings when we're using the spiky side of the glove. So that is going to get that slow moving nerves working through and that surface lymph moving. And then we're going to go deep and actually change the fibers, like really get into the toxins underneath and brush through. Sorry, yeah.
Does that help break up blockages across the scars?
It does, yeah. If it's a new scar, toothbrush, nice and gentle. If it's a scar that's been there for a while, yep. If your skin can't handle the gloves, it means that you've got a problem with your skin. It means that the integrity of your skin needs work. You have to have more zinc. You have to look after your skin health so much better. What's going on inside your gut? Because if you have a bad gut on the inside, it's going to show in your skin on the outside. So you have to work on your skin integrity. Saying that, pat. Okay. If it's too sharp, just pat and use the lymphatic cream, and your skin will repair, and you'll then be able to use the spiky side. Question?
Time of day. Look, can you use this before you go to bed?
Yep. So time of day is very independent, because if I'm going to, at night time, if I'm going, oh, yes, I'm going to use my gloves, I'm going to get in, I'm all activated and I'm jumping. So but at night, if I go, oh, I'm really going to love my body and thank it for everything that it did for me today. Really nice and gentle and work it through. Yeah. So I'm going to help relax my body. But saying that, how you and I, like, I've never had a coffee in my life. Imagine me on coffee. Right? if I have anything stimulating, like I have to be a morning, daytime drinker, like alcohol from 2 o'clock on, like I am party until the next day. All right. So that's why I have to do this more in the daytime than at night, because I get stimulated by using the glove. Other people will be different. Doing it is better than not doing it. Yeah? Absolutely. Definitely helps with all of that. Your whole immune system, your T cells, your B cells, like everything. Yeah, and get rid of glutens and get rid of dairy. Yeah.
So, do you prefer to use the raw clove, or so you're saying if you're going to do this, you use the cream?
Yeah. So when in the morning, like I'll wake up and because I've normally got clothes on, and then I will do my over my jammies until I start burping and stuff, and then I will put on because I will then go to gym in the morning. So I will do the gloves and then go to gym. When I get home from gym, I will then take off my clothes and then use the spiky side, naked. Yep, you can imagine it. Woohoo. Right? And then I'll hop out of the shower and I mix my magnesium spray because I make my magnesium. So magnesium, MSM, arnica, and eucalyptus, and something else that's amazing, all in the spray. So you can use that as a deodorant and you can use that for sore muscle. So I will mix the magnesium spray with my lymphatic cream, massage that in, and then go over the top of it with the balls. I do the spiky side on dry skin because then I'm acting as a body exfoliant at the same time. If you want to do it in the shower, that's fine too. Yeah, so dry skin, and then the roller ball over top of clothes or over top of the moisturiser.
So doing it without the moisturiser on bare skin, the no-no?
It can pinch.
That's what I did for ages when I did it.
Yes.
Then I saw a video, you must have said in there, use the cream.
Yes. Use the cream. With the rollerball side, yes. You can just use the cream without. So the cream has so many different nutrients in it, as well as so we've got essential oils, frankincense, white cypress. We have gotcha cola, castor oil, lemon, horse chestnut, bladderwrack. There's your seafood mix. Seaweed, thank you. Seaweed mix in there. This is a cream that we make ourselves, so my family and I make all of our products. We mix, we blend, we put it into the containers. We do all of that with lots of love. Yeah, so I will put it depends if I've got just the spray, I'm going to spray all over my body, and then I'm going to get the pumps of the lymphatic cream and then massage it in. But sometimes I've got the magnesium on a pump too, where I'll just go pump, and then pump the cream and then whack it all on. The magnesium I'll put in any sore spots.
Very good, and it does not sting.
Yes, my magnesium doesn't sting. Okay, thank you. Yeah, it is the best moisturising cream that you get. So we've got two lymphatic packs here. So one pack that's got everything in it here. It's $199, and that's got another 2 hours of me raving on in there, and the lymphatic cream, the magnesium spray, my face cream, and your gloves. So the whole pack is there. So does anybody want that one? Sold. And then we've got two. Oh, no, yes. No, we've got two of those.
Yeah, no, sorry, the other lady bought it.
Oh, okay. Okay. And then we've got one that's just got the lymphatic cream and the gloves. Sold. And then, yes, there's about 16 boxes of gloves. So if you want to grab a box of gloves, yeah, okay. So Carissa will be able to take your money, honeys, for that. But so thank you so much for coming tonight, learning more. Can we just go, so tell me something that you're going to do. Tell me an action that you're going to do. Rub your boobs.
Start using my gloves again.
Start using your gloves again.
Buy gloves and use them.
Get some gloves and use them.
Get some gloves and use them.
Get some gloves and use them. What's something from tonight that you've learnt that you're going to do?
To use my gloves more.
Use your gloves. Yes. Anybody else got anything else apart from use their gloves? Rub the boobs. Do the face. Do the lymphatic face. Down, yes. Drink more water. Yep. See what can happen? Find yourself a water buddy, because you're going to forget. So if you can find somebody at work who then you'll say, okay, let's be water buddies. You bring me one and I'll bring you one. And then you'll get into the habit of drinking water. Yep. Yay. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, babe. Thank you, Carissa, for letting me have this space.